Secretary, over here. Robust sanctions on Russia. You called them massive consequences. Want to speak a little bit about those. At minimum, would there have to be an agreed-upon ceasefire to lift, for the United States of America to lift any of those sanctions?
Congressman, we're certainly not talking about lifting sanctions. We're talking about
would there have to be a ceasefire for America to lift our sanctions?
Well, at a minimum, any movement on any sanctions,
ceasefire
I
at
would
minimum.
would need to require something like that. Yeah.
Would they have to remove forces from Ukraine to lift any sanctions?
Again, all of this, first and most important thing is we will support whatever it is the democratically elected government of Ukraine.
These are our sanctions. America's
These are our sanctions, but they're in service.
America's commerce with Russia, America's determination on who we are going to get energy from, everything else, decisions that affect Americans. So for America and our sanctions and our commerce resuming, does Russia have to be out of the Ukraine?
Congressman, the Ukrainians that we are supporting in every way that we can, it's vital that they determine the actions that would be most effective.
So you're saying Ukraine will determine?
No, I'm saying we want to hear from them.
Their sanctions.
We want to hear from them and allies and partners on what would be most effective and when. So
we want to hear from them. They want to hear from us. We're the United States of America. Zelensky came to the United States of America, said, we're the leader of freedom. We have to be the leader of peace. He addressed the House of Representatives, the Senate. So let's be America and lead. And as the Secretary of State, great honor, do they have to have a ceasefire? Do they have to be out of Ukraine in order for the United States of America to regain commerce, any type of commerce, or lift sanctions?
Again, what I'm not going to do is lay out or engage or negotiate in public on something that we will work in close coordination with the Ukrainians.
I think what you mean is you won't answer clearly to the American people. This is our country. These are our sanctions. This is what we're doing. We are providing arms. We are doing cyber warfare. We are doing economic warfare. We are in a situation on the global stage where nobody can say there's 0% chance of nuclear war. That's a tough situation to be in.
We're doing all of this.
So answer to the Americans.
No, we're doing all of this in service of ensuring that Ukraine remains sovereign, remains independent, and we are looking at what actions would be required to make sure that we can keep doing that, as well as making sure.
We're doing stuff for Americans too.
As well as
making sure.
making
We're doing it for Ukrainians. We're doing it for Americans as well. There's a lot that's going on that's hurting Americans. What's going on with energy, very specifically, that's an easy one to talk about. But let's go back to these. Does there have to be a war crime tribunal for Putin before we will lift any sanctions or allow for any commerce?
There has to be accountability, and there will be accountability.
War crime
but again,
tribunal?
I'm not going to get into spelling out a roadmap of when or if sanctions would be lifted. We will determine that.
That's sad that we won't lay out a roadmap for what has to happen. That's very weak negotiation. Negotiate from strength, not from weakness.
Not in public, not at this time.
Will they have to repay damages for everything that they've destroyed in their Ukraine?
We want to make sure that not only is there accountability for war crimes that have been committed, but there's accountability for the fact
will
that
there
they
be
committed
reparations?
huge act of destruction. So
reparations for everybody that's
we will
killed.
look at making sure that the damage that was done to Ukraine is assumed by those who committed it.
I hope that these are bare minimum things that take place before the United States of America consider resuming any commerce with Russia, Putin whatsoever, before we consider lifting any sanctions whatsoever, and that we begin starting to speak to them from these positions of strength. I want to yield a couple of moments to my colleague, Mr. Zeldin, to address some of the lies that you told us earlier.
Thank you. In response to Mr. Connolly, you said that prior to the U.S. withdrawal that Iran did not violate the letter of the JCPOA. Is that your position?
That I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Prior to the U.S. withdrawal from the JCPOA, that Iran did not violate the letter of the JCPOA. Is that your position? At
various points, we had concerns that they were in violation. We brought that to the dispute resolution mechanism that was built into the agreement, and those concerns were resolved.
So twice, IAEA found Iran in violation of heavy water. They found that they had assembled more IR-6s, that they had acquired more IR-8 rotor assemblies, that they attempted to acquire carbon fiber that they're not allowed to, all in violation of the letter of the JCPOA. Now, you all know this, but you come here anyway and you gaslight us, So we're forced to call you out on it. Next time you come here, please don't make believe like they haven't violated the letter of the JCPOA before we
Gentleman's
withdraw.
time has expired.